Hello friends, and welcome back to another virtual story time with Miss Liz. We are in my office at Queen Memorial Library today, and I chose a brand new book from our bookshelves. This is a book about voting for change in our country. So some of you might know that you can't vote until you're 18 years old. And for some of you, that might be a long time away. But until you're old enough to vote, there are plenty of things that you can do to spread the word and help others learn how to vote and what their options are. So we are going to read today about a group of kids making change. This book is called Vote for Our Future. It's written by Margaret McNamara with pictures by Micah Player, and it's published by Penguin Random House Books. Ooh, here are some buttons, it looks like, on the inside cover. It says things like, "My vote counts. It's rad to vote. Yes, we can. Kids can't vote, so think about us when you do." And a lot more. Let's begin the story to see what's going to happen. Vote for Our Future by Margaret McNamara, illustrations by Micah Player. Every 2 years, on the Tuesday after the first Monday in November, that's always voting day, Stanton Elementary School closes for the day. Now, I think it's cool to point out that in Philadelphia, we have an elementary school called Stanton Elementary just a few blocks away. It's a school that I have visited many times. I think it's so cool that that's the name of the school in this book, Stanton Elementary. So every 2 years, the school closes for the day. Is it for repairs? Nope. Is it for a holiday? Nope. Is it for vacation? No way. Stanton Elementary closes for Election Day, and it changes from a school to a polling station. What is a polling station? It's where people vote. It looks like here they're in either the lunchroom or the auditorium, and they're setting up to become a polling station. The reason people vote is to choose who makes the laws of this country. "We should all vote," said LaToya. "We should all vote to make the future better." "We can't vote until we turn 18, said Lizzie. "So what can we do?" The kids of Stanton Elementary School did their research. I love this next page. It shows that you don't have to be a grown-up to do your own research and get answers. They looked in books and they made notes. They went online and found all kinds of information. They even took a trip to their local election office and picked up some forms. "I can't wait to vote for real," said Amal. "Me either," said everybody else. Kids have to live with adult choices. That is so true. If everyone who can vote is over 18 and kids don't get to vote, that means the votes that are cast by people older than them are still going to affect them. The kids of Stanton Elementary School were ready to spread the word. They were going to do what they could do to make sure that everyone else was doing their part. Katie and her mom made flyers and handed them out. "Don't forget to vote," Katie told one busy dad. "I didn't even know there was an election," he said. "Now you do," said Katie. "Can I go with you when you vote?" Jasmine asked her big sister. "It's a pain to vote," her sister said. "I'm not even registered," added her sister's friends. "It's not hard to register," said Jasmine. "You can do it together, and I can show you how." Looks like they did online registration on their phones. See? It can be easy. Nadia and her auntie went door to door. "Voting is a right," Nadia said. "A right that women didn't have 100 years ago." Can you imagine that? 100 years ago, I would not have been able to vote because I'm a woman. Isn't that silly? This is why people need to vote for change. So, one lady told them, don't like standing in lines. Well, I don't like lines either, said Nadia's auntie. But if we stand in line for a coffee or for a movie or at a bank, I bet we can stand in line to vote, said Nadia. Said the lady. Maybe we can. At Jaden's house, the whole family was making their voting plans. Jaden's dad was voting before work. Jaden's mom was voting after work. I've walked to that polling station every election since I could vote, said Jaden's great-gran. But I can't walk so far anymore. A volunteer can drive you, said Jaden. Let's get you set up, said Jaden's mom. This is true. There are lots of organizations that will help people get to their polling place if they can't make it themselves. But there are other ways to vote if you can't make it to the polling station. Mia and Noah and Jamal had a bake sale. Don't forget to vote, said Mia as she handed out change. I'll be away on election day, said one woman. In our state, you can vote early, said Mia. Or you can vote by mail, said Jamal. The voter guide tells you how. So see, if you can't make it to the polling station, you can vote early. You can even vote by mail. That's how I voted in the last election. I filled out my voting sheet at my house and I put it in the mailbox. And actually, I should say ballot. It's not called a voting sheet. It's called a ballot. So let's see what's going to happen next. Voting, what's the big deal? Said a teenager. People fought wars so we can vote, said Mia. That's a big deal. That's true. Why should I vote, said a lady. Nothing ever changes. Besides, one vote won't make a difference. Ooh, this is an idea that a lot of people had, that their voice doesn't matter because it's just one person. So how can it make a difference? Well, let's find out. Are you kidding? Said Jamal. Changes are made every day because people voted. Every vote counts. So if you voted and your family and your friends voted, that's a whole lot of people that can make a difference together. Every vote counts. By the time it was the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, every kid at Stanton Elementary School had spread the word to their families and to their neighbors and to friends and to strangers and to friends of strangers. The whole town had a voting plan. And on election day, we have a special big page coming up. On election day, voters came early in the morning before the sun was up. They waited in line with coffee. They rolled in on wheelchairs. They voted for the first time and for the 50th time. Look at all those people. They ran in at the last minute. They came with their sons and daughters, their nieces and nephews, their brothers and sisters, and their cousins and their friends. Let's try to see if we can get this whole picture in. All of these people that came out to vote. Wow. All right, fold these pages back in nicely, and let's see what's going to happen next. And then on the first Wednesday after the first Monday in November, that was the day after Election Day, all of the votes had been counted. And some of the results were so close that the votes had to be counted again to make sure that there was no mistake. Some people won. Looks like this person is giving an acceptance speech. Look, she's happy and her family and friends look happy. And some people lost. Looks like this person did not win in their election, but they're giving a speech anyway, and they're surrounded by their loving family and friends. And slowly, the laws of the country began to change. And Stanton Elementary School went back to being a school. Here's everybody sitting in class, but oh, looks like someone has an idea for what they'd like to do in the future. This says, for a new tomorrow, Latoya for Senate. Looks like Latoya was inspired to pursue a political career. And the futures began to change. Looks like they are moving to a brighter tomorrow together. And then, though it is the end of the story, there is a big piece of information here about voting and about what kids can do to get out the word about voting. The end. So, our country's next election in the United States is coming up this November, and it's going to be a very important election because this year we are deciding who's going to be the next president of the United States. That is the top politician, as well as a bunch of other political positions in the country. So, whether you are a grown-up or a kid, whether you are able to vote right now or you're not able to vote, I hope that you will remember how important it is to vote in our country to move towards change. And I hope you will remember that every vote counts, as well as all the other reasons in this book why people could vote, why people should vote, and ways to do it. So, thank you all for joining me. Thank you for reading this lovely book alongside me. Again, it's called Vote for Our Future by Margaret McNamara and Micah Player. And I will see you next week for some more great books. Thanks for watching.